So I think we'll do our blessing the speech again. I love this practice. It's so unusual. It's so unexpected to think of blessing your tongue. It sounds hilarious. But it's got such meaning when you think about it. So let's get it. Let's just okay. Let's just settle down. Just check out. It's good to know to remember the position of the body when you meditate. It's coming from the experience of the yogis over the centuries. And it's all practical. It's not some kind of mystical thing. It's practical. So let's remember the first bit. The first one is ideal position, best possible, is what they call full lotus position. So if you're very flexible, and of course in our culture we sit on chairs since we're little, so we're not used to it. Our legs aren't very flexible. Our hips, you have your left leg up on your right thigh, and and the right leg in front. So if you can do this, and there's something about that position when you're a really kind of advanced meditator, when you need to go to the subtlest level of your mind and stay there a long time to try and penetrate the meaning of reality, you need to be in that position, especially in the Vajrayana practices. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, if you can start your session, even for a moment, in full lotus, it's very auspicious. It's kind of appropriate. It kind of leaves the imprint to be able to do it in the future, creates the cause. So, of course, if you can't do that, you sit ordinary cross-legged. And if not that, if we're in a chair, then okay, we do our best. So the first thing is your legs, and then your bottom. So if you've got very flexible legs and you can be full lotus, then you just have a cushion just propping you up under your coccyx. So then you're subtly thrust forward, because these great meditators can stay there for days, and you stay stable. You don't topple over. Something very practical about it. So, but if you're in a chair, then it's really important we stay upright. Do not slump into the back of the chair, because then the mind becomes lazy and you go to sleep. And the subtler physical energies, the wind energies through our subtler nervous system, they can't flow smoothly. In our states of our mind is connected to those winds. They say the mind rides on the winds. So then it's really good to be upright. So there's your bottom, your legs, and then be upright. And so your back in general, be very upright. This is important. They don't say it. They say keep your shoulders kind of upright as well, but very relaxed. But I like to add the extra bit. As soon as you sit upright, you tense your muscles. It's automatic. Well, sit upright, but then flop your muscles. Keep upright and then relax your muscles, especially the abdomen. I don't mention that among the 8 points for meditation, but we know about that. We keep the muscles very tense. So sit upright and then relax, flop the muscles. Then you've got your hands. So there's many mudras or gestures that the yogis use over the centuries. The one we always taught in the beginning is left underneath, right on top, thumbs touching in your lap. You can put your hands on each separate knee as you wish. You can do what you like until you find what works for you. There's your head. The main thing, not the main, there's several points about your head. Chin tucked in slightly and head slightly tilted forward, not your head thrust back. Makes the mind agitated. Slightly forward. Your jaw relaxed. Lips slightly apart. And then the tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth, just near the palate. And this is to prevent you from dribbling a lot, especially if you meditate a long time, or from having to swallow the spit all the time. So it's so practical. And finally, your eyes. If you've got good concentration, you're a really serious meditator and your mind is very internal, then you have your eyes open, which helps the light come in, because, these great meditators meditate day and night, but especially the day when the light is there. If the light can come in, it keeps your mind sharp. But most of us get distracted because we're not very good meditators, so we keep them maybe closed. But have your eyes under the eyelids, looking down, as if you're looking along your nose. So they're the main points. Your bottom, your legs, your back, the hands, chin, your jaw, lips, tongue, eyes. Then settle into this position and forget all about it, because your body doesn't meditate. Your mind does. It's just to make the mind most conducive. It's the most conducive position for the mind to do its job properly. Okay. So let's look at, put up the little practice mat. We can say the little refuge prayer, this cute little refuge prayer. So sweet, so short. Refuge. Look at this little prayer there. I take refuge in the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. I take refuge. I rely upon the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. Konshog, Sumla Kyapsuchi, Drola Penche Sange Shog. Konshog, Sumla Kyapsuchi, Drola Penche Sange Shog. All right, so just now you concentrate and I'll talk and you sort of try and do what, we visualize what we can. So if you've taken an empowerment, you can then see yourself as the Buddha. If not, you have the Buddha above your head. Just have the Buddha there, sitting on his multicolored lotus, the sun, with this position of the Buddha, sitting, meditating, like behind me. Okay. So now you imagine on your tongue is the Sanskrit syllable ah. Of course, we do the Roman letters, if you don't know Sanskrit or Tibetan. Ah, standing upright in the center of your tongue. Just imagine. And then it turns into a moon disk, which would be white, like a flat cushion, a moon disk on your tongue. On top of the moon disk, there's a white Om. And now it's surrounded by all the white vowels. They refer to them as Ali, and the consonants are Kali, Ali, Ali. The white vowels, of course, we don't know them, so just pretend. You have to pretend. They're surrounding clockwise the tongue, and they're surrounding on the tongue, they're surrounding the Om. Then surrounding these syllables as counterclockwise are the red vowels. Kali, they refer to them. The consonants, sorry, consonants. Lots of them. And now, surrounding all of this are the blue syllables of the dependent related heart mantra, or the mantra of dependent arising. That's Lama Zopa's words, dependent related heart mantra. And they circle clockwise. So all of these letters, white, red, blue, standing upright on your tongue. Imagine. So now light beams radiate out, and I suppose the color of the syllables radiate out and to all the 10 directions, up, down, north, south, east, west, northeast, north, south, and so on and so forth, 10 directions. And it hooks, think of it, hooking the energy of the power of the speech of all the holy beings, all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, all the trillions of holy beings, the power of their speech. And what that means is, Lama Zopa says it here, this is the power of speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the great yogis, and even all the people living in virtue who have got good speech, this power of all the holy beings in all the directions, including the power of speech of those who have engaged in the path and those who, and also those sages who have achieved the power of words, who have actualized the words of truth. What that means is, when you realize something, when you know something experientially and you then explain it to somebody, your words have much more power because it's coming from experience. Think about this, it's very meaningful. You just read the words in a book, it's very good. If you read the words of the Dalai Lama in a book, it's marvelous. But you think if it's coming from his mouth, wow, so much more powerful. The words of truth, power of speech, it's wonderful. And we all need that. So all of this comes with all these light beams and absorb back into the syllables on your tongue, making them radiant and blissful and delicious, full of the power of the speech of all the holy beings of the universe. How wonderful. So now, as we recite the vowels, we imagine nectar pouring down, white nectar pouring down from all the vowels, yes, the vowels, pouring down, filling us up and down everywhere, filling our entire body. And then imagining that it completely purifies all the karmic imprints from all the harm you've ever done since beginningless time with your bodies in past lives and up to now, putting atomic bombs, totally purifying all the actions, the karmic seeds that have been left on our mind as a result of these actions, because there's nothing that ever we think or do or say that goes astray. Everything gets stored in the mind. It's just the way it is. Natural law of karma. So imagine totally purifying. How amazing. All these imprints. Imagine this, full of this radiant, blissful nectar. And remember, as Lama Yeshe says, you know, we create karma, let's say negative karma, with the mind, which then does, and then the body does what the mind wants. So then we purify karma with the mind. This is exactly what we're doing here. Have confidence in this. This is logic. But we're so convinced that, oh, I'm intrinsically a bad person. What do you mean visualizing I've purified? How can that be possible? Well, what else purifies? It's not Buddha's job. It's your job. It's the strength of your own mind, the strength of your determination, the strength of your sincerity, the power of your mind. That's what purifies. Nothing else. It's amazing. So be so delighted as we say these mantras, say these syllables, that we're totally purifying. This nectar is filling us completely and purifying all the imprints of all the actions we've ever done since beginning this time to harm sentient beings with our bodies. Om a a I I u u ri ri li li e o a sa swaha. Om a a I I u u ri ri li li e o a swaha. Swaha. Om a a I I u u ri ri li e o a swaha. Totally full of this white nectar. How amazing. Purifying all the nonsense of our bodies. And now, as we say, the consonants, the red nectar pours down from these syllables, the consonants, filling us completely, and this time purifying our speech. And that's, of course, as humans. All the harm we've done since beginning of this time with our speech, all the bad-mouthing other people, you know, finding fault in other people, all the words we say that aren't true, all the words we say that are harsh, abusing people, and all the words that are just kind of rabbiting on about nothing, just pouring out the mouth with no awareness. So all of this, think how amazing, it totally eradicates the karmic imprints left by these actions since beginningless time. This red nectar filling us, how marvelous. Om ka 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 ga nga. I didn't check up. I said I'd check up on the two different sections of the ta, but I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I'll do it next time. Om ka 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 ga nga. Cha 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 janya. Ta 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 dana. Ta 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 dana. Pa pa ba ba ma. Yada lava. Shasha sahaksha swaha. Om a ka 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 ga nga. Cha 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 janya. Ta 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 dana. Ta 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 dana. Pa pa ba ba ma. Yada lava. Shasha sahaksa svaha. Om ka 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 ga nga. Cha 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 jana. Ta 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 dana. Ta 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 dana. Pa pa ba ba ma. Yada lava. Shasha sahaksa svaha. Full of this red nectar, imagine. Having purified all the imprints. And why can they be purified? Because they're not intrinsic. They're not at the core of our being. They're not integral. They're not fundamentally part of us. They're not permanent. They're not intrinsic. They're not inherent. When we understand this, we have confidence in our potential to change. If we don't understand dependent arising, we are stuck in stone. I am bad. I can do nothing about it. I am hopeless. That's because we don't understand dependent arising and emptiness. So the more we think about dependent arising, the more we think about emptiness, and more it loosens the grip of self-pity and suffering and anxiety and depression and anger and hopelessness. This is the logic of Buddha's teachings. All those imprints of all the negative actions of our speech, totally eradicated, full of this blissful red nectar. How amazing. So now, as we recite as we recite the dependent related heart mantra, Rinpoche says it that way, the mantra of dependent arising, dependent related heart mantra. This purifies our mind, which is the source of all of it. It's the source of our goodness, the source of our Buddhahood, and the source of our suffering. And we have the power to change it. We can mold our mind into any shape we like. This is what's incredible. We are not set in stone. We believe we are. We believe it. This is the tragedy of ego grasping. It's the tragedy of ego. That's why we suffer so badly. That's why we become so hopeless. But we are not set in stone. It's logical. Nothing can be set in stone. There's nothing that has an intrinsic nature. It can't exist if it does. This is the essence of Buddha's explanation of why we suffer. Because we have this primordial belief in the bones of our being that there's a real intrinsic me that's and therefore necessarily intrinsically bad. The delusions are the main voices of this ego grasping, and they're not happy by definition. And this is why we all suffer. So now, as we recite these syllables, marvelous syllables that help us realize emptiness, then the blue nectar fills us completely and purifies the mind itself. That ego grasping, all the fears, the attachment, the depression, the anxiety, the worries, all the negativity, all the stuff that causes so much pain. And that is why we harm others. Imagine purifying all this, how incredible. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadatte shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadatte shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadatte shanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashamanaye svaha. Full of this radiant blue nectar, blue like the sky, totally full of it. All the delusions gone. How amazing. So now we imagine all these blue syllables on our tongue dissolve into the red consonants. And the red consonants dissolve into the white vowels. And the white vowels dissolve into the Om, the white Om. And the Om dissolves into the moon disk. And then the moon disk turns into an R. And the R transforms into pink colored nectar. I can't get over how sweet this is. It's so sweet. Pink colored nectar, for goodness sake. And then all the nectar dissolves into your tongue. So think of it like there's all the essence of all the energy of all these syllables, which are the sounds. Sounds in Tantra, the Vajrayana, sound is the wind energy that's coursing through all our 72 subtle channels. And all our states of mind, our mental states, are inextricably linked to those winds. So where the winds are berserk, our mind is berserk. Join the universe, people. So, you know, so one way to purify our mind and our body simultaneously is doing exactly this, and saying mantra, just saying any mantra. It's the purest of sound, which is the wind energy, which is the physical energy of your own body, the subtle one. By saying mantra, you purify those winds, which in turn impacts upon the states of mind connected to the winds. It's such a powerful practice, you know, not just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's physically powerful. And benefits your mind. How amazing. So here now all this energy is absorbed into our tongue, and yet pink colored nectar, and that dissolves into your tongue. And now your tongue becomes of Vajra nature, becomes indestructible. Nothing can harm or take away or destroy the power of your speech, the power of mantra. A very strong confidence that all the power and the blessings of the speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, the sages, the yogis, and so on have entered your speech, and that your speech is perfected. Think, I have perfected my speech. And the minute the sentient beings hear your speech, even as good morning, even if it's your laugh, it pacifies their emotional and disturbing thoughts. And also, not only that, you'll benefit others just by your voice. Your words will benefit others. Just the sound of your voice will benefit others. Can you imagine this? All the rats, the mice, the bugs, the mosquitoes, you know, your boyfriend, the people in the street, to be benefited. And then when you have speech, you know, to do things like the shop, and you ask for something, you'll get it. You're a boss, you have to tell people what to do in your job, they will do it. Your words will have power. And of course, the point of all of this is to lead people into enlightenment, to use your speech for benefit, you know. How incredible. It's one of the most marvelous qualities of a human being. Because of our intelligence, we've articulated all these concepts, and we turn them into sound. And this can lead us to enlightenment. It's how amazing. So by thinking in this way, the power of your speech becomes marvelous. And whatever you recite, you know, you say your mantras in the day, become multiplied by millions of times. Your speech never becomes like gossip. And because of the power of this mantra, the power of your speech will be never snatched by eating. It's very interesting, that. So go down, Matt. Let's look at number 2 note. See what Lama Zopa says. Go to the bottom to look for the notes. Very bottom. Oh, there's no notes. Oh, they're not even there. Have to find them out then. Have to look for them. Go back a bit to see if there's above all this lot. No, they're not there. So we'll have to find them. Okay. So now, what is the time? It's a bit early, isn't it? Oh, a few minutes. So, yeah. So this is one way to benefit out. This is one way to purify our speech. This is incredible. And then second way is to do mantra. And not just your speech, but also purifies your body. But not only that, also through the day, this is where the practice comes, you know. As we know from the Buddha's teachings, the progressive stages of practice, this is something that we don't think like in our culture. We don't think like, it takes a while to think about this. The first level of practice is to control the servants of the mind, which is the body and speech. So we humans, we in this room now might not go and rape and kill and steal too much. But our speech, you know, look at the mess we make with our speech, the harm we do to others and therefore ourselves. So one way to purify our speech is be silent. I mean, it's so simple, it's embarrassing. Be silent. Don't say it. Especially for those of us for whom speech is easy. Some people have controlled speech. In fact, they need to speak more, maybe. They suffocate everything. But if we kind of blur out of our mouths, you know, there's a good side to that. It means we're communicating with people, but we have to use it properly. Know that we can control it. We can harness it. We can consciously make it useful. So the perfect way to start is to be silent. That's excellent practice. The next way to purify your speech is to not say bad words. You know, the 4 that Buddha suggests. Don't say words that aren't true. Don't say words that are harsh in front of people. Don't say bad things behind backs. Don't sit there all day watching television criticizing everybody. You think, oh, no one's hearing me. It doesn't matter. Well, excuse me, you're harming yourself. And don't just rabbit on meaninglessly. Just pour out whatever you feel, you know, have some control, discipline. That's the next powerful way to practice. And then, you know, so then act proactively to say mantra. So all these are such brilliant practices, you know. Don't think they're nothing. So now we think, may the dedication prayer just here, may my tongue, I just love these little prayers, they're so cute. May my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the power manifesting from these glorified words, may all sentient beings be subdued. And may whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. So now just imagine Buddha dissolving into you. And then you just, for a couple of minutes, just kind of space out. Make you feel yourself expanding to fill the universe. Very big, very spacious, very clear. Your mind expanding to fill the universe. Because when you're fully developed, your mind will be doing that. There's nothing hindering it. Right now, our mind's stuck in our body because of delusions, you know. Can't see past our own noses. But imagine you fill the universe. Totally blissful, totally clear, spacious, no thoughts. Okay, thank you, Matt. Put that down now, the prayers. Thank you, sweet people. That'll do for now. 30 little minutes, a few positive things. Keep moving forward, another one step at a time. Be optimistic. Okay.
Thank you,